Across Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific, this is the week's Adventist News in Focus.
Hello, it's great to be back with you this week. I'm Dannielle Synot. After devastating public revelations about the poor handling of child abuse allegations by church, community and government institutions, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Australia is doing some soul-searching. While the church has not yet been asked to appear before the Royal Commission, Adventist leaders are preparing for the possibility. They say they welcome the Commission's goals and processes and that the church needs to face the issue of child abuse and its consequences squarely.
When I think about the child and the church, I think we've got to get away from this mentality of us versus them. I don't think the two can be separated because children are the church. People are the church.
For some years, the Adventist Church has provided support to abuse survivors and training for congregations through Safe Place Services units around Australia and New Zealand. Concerns are being raised that Christian schools in Victoria will lose the right to employ staff who share their beliefs and values if the Labor Party wins the state election later this month. According to Freedom for Faith, Labor says it will limit the rights of religious schools to discriminate when hiring teachers and other staff. A strict application of Labor's proposed amendments might mean Christian schools would be unable to require staff to be church members in good standing, except for specified roles such as religion teachers or chaplains.
Adventist schools are holistic, and therefore every element of our program is relevant to the ethos and to the mission of the schools. How can we function as an Adventist school without being able to employ in a unique way, and therefore positive discrimination as it is understood to be?
Church organisations and religious freedom groups are calling on Victorian Labor to dump its proposal before the November 29 state election. A renewed push is underway to translate the Bible into hundreds more of the languages spoken by people groups in the Pacific Islands region. According to Christian Telegraph, Wycliffe Associates has launched Operation Pacific Advance in partnership with church leaders and local translators around the Pacific. The plan is to increase the resources made available to translation projects in an effort to complete them sooner and begin more. There are 348 Bible translation projects currently underway in the Pacific region. Another 402 still need to begin. The last week has seen a number of firsts in US politics, particularly for Christians. The midterm elections saw a clear swing towards the Republicans, with a number of fresh faces being elected in various state legislatures. The freshest of all was 18-year-old Sarah Blair, who is the youngest elected politician in US history. According to Breaking Christian News, Ms. Blair, who won her West Virginia seat in a landslide, says she believes in religious freedom and is strongly pro-life and in favour of marriage being between a man and a woman under God. And in what's likely to be another first, retired neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson appears to be moving closer to announcing his intention to run for US president. After officially changing his party affiliation to Republican, he released an hour-long documentary profiling his life and principles and, according to America's ABC, now admits he's starting to think about a presidential run. If he gains a Republican nomination, Dr. Carson will be the first Seventh-day Adventist in a US presidential race. Now, if you'd like to catch up with more Christian news as well as interviews and biblical lifestyle advice, check out the full half-hour Record in Focus program. This week, Politics in Focus, the implications of Victoria's proposed school reforms.
And what this policy is doing is taking away the freedom of churches and Christian organisations and Christian schools to maintain an ethos in the selection of the employment of staff.
Getting rid of those annoying corns and calluses.
Pump a stone first, pare it down, and then put that on and change every day.
And Christians speak out on behalf of the world's poor.
We need to both increase the capacity of the communities in Zambia, say, to administrate their own tax. Okay, so I mean they have limited capacity to do that, so we have to invest in that. But then we also have to fix the supply side. Okay.
Record in Focus plays every week on Hope Channel, the Australian Christian channel, and Digital 44 in Adelaide. And if you're online, you can catch any of our segments or episodes, including this week's program, at our website record.net.au. It's definitely worth a look. Thanks for your company. I'll see you next week on InFocus Adventist News. God bless.
I've just been spending some time at Sonoma College in Papua New Guinea. I've been worshipping with about 5,000 people, Christians, Seventh-day Adventist Christians in fact, and we've had a great weekend together. When I got on the plane to come home, however, I was reminded that the real world still exists. Ebola, ISIS, famine, tragedy, heartache. It was like a jarring jolt after the beautiful weekend I'd spent there with people worshipping God. And I thought about something. It really came home to me that God is not going to let all of these tragedies and problems, heartache and sickness go on and on indefinitely. Our study of the Bible tells us that our God is going to intervene. Our Bibles tell us that our God is going to put an end to all of the heartache, the tragedy, the Ebola crisis, the war, the famine, and that He is interested in showing us a time when there will be no more tear, no more pain, no more sickness. Frankly, I'm looking forward to that. Am I looking forward to that? You too?